Why does it smell like Cheetos in here?
Is it the dog's feet?
Oh, yeah. I do know puppies smell like that. Do regular dogs smell like that, too?
Yeah, it's like a bacteria in their paws and their feet that smell like Fritos.
I didn't know if it was the mic. I was like, were you eating Cheetos and talking into this microphone?
No.
Are you sure?
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I wish I had Cheetos now. Actually, I think I did buy some hot Cheetos the other day. I haven't broken into them yet, though.
Are you like saving them for a special I'm really stoned occasion?
No, just haven't opened it yet.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome into this week's edition of
YITTY!
It's yes, I'm talking to you. She is the incomparable hot Cheeto loving Nina Blanco.
Yep, hot Cheetos. They're the shit.
And I am Rob Trujillo or Dubz. Whatever you want to call me.
Yeah.
We still haven't decided.
I like to call you Dubz, though.
Yeah, I mean, you're used to it.
And you're officially in our Google Home face recognition as Dubz.
Face recognition?
Yeah.
Are you gonna sell secrets to China or something? Like, what's happening?
I might, so don't test me. But no, it's because we have like a Google Home doorbell thing.
Yeah, you told me about that. You told me it rings on your Google Home, which I think is weird.
Yeah, it does that, and it like has facial recognition. You can like update people's profiles, and it has my name, and now it has Dubz in it. Whenever you come over, it says Dubz is here.
I guess I trust my Google Home a lot because I use it as my alarm clock.
Okay.
But I still feel like you don't have like a sound that plays in the house.
When you push the doorbell, it like connects to our Google Home.
Yeah.
And it does like ding ding.
But it does
Someone
make
is
a
at
sound.
the door.
It does make a sound.
Yeah, it
Okay.
makes a little bit of a sound, and then like a Google Home guy voice says, "Someone is ringing the doorbell."
So what governments across the world now have my face for facial recognition?
Whoever Google has sold it to.
Okay, that's great.
I'm not a part of that deal, unfortunately, but whoever Google has sold it to.
So it's Yes, I'm Talking to You, where we yell at people, and I'm going to start out by yelling at Nina for selling my face to everybody across the planet with her Google Home.
That's what you get for coming over to my house.
Listen, the boy is so like...
I know, isn't it weird?
Yeah, he's so protective about all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Like, even to an extreme of me most of the time, and I'm surprised he's like for that idea.
He's about it, I guess. I mean, I don't know, it's part of home security, so you come to my house, I got your face on camera.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
As is everyone else.
Yeah, it was funny because people were like, don't have those speakers in your house because if you do, they turn on and listen. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, to what?
Right.
Like, what
am I doing?
You're going to listen to me playing video games or watching TV? Like, what do you?
It's fine. Go ahead.
Listen.
You can listen.
If you want to listen to all the hours to try to find one incriminating thing that I've done, go for it.
For a pretty minor thing, probably.
Yeah, like you probably deserve it if you put in that much time.
Just go
you know
ahead.
what I mean?
That's
so
fine.
It's all good.
Do you, boo-boo?
All right, so we start off with you, me, and we, where we each get to complain about something and then complain about something together. Mm-hmm. Nina, go ahead and complain for me.
Kelly Rowland.
Uh-oh. I like Kelly Rowland. What did she do?
I know. She's a singer. She has a lot of really great songs individually. She was also part of Destiny's Child. We love her. But she was on stage at the American Music Awards last Sunday, and like, who even watches any of these awards anymore? But
there's so many.
They still
like
go
exhausting.
on.
Oh.
Right. So the American Music Awards were last week, and she was up on stage to announce the winner for favorite male R&B artist. And the winner was Chris Brown. And when she announced the winner, there was a mixture in the audience of people clapping, because that's what you're supposed to do, and also people booing. And you could really hear it. It definitely stood out.
Yeah, you don't have to clap, but go ahead.
And so since people were booing, Kelly's up on stage and she goes, "Excuse me, chill out." And she tells the crowd, like, chill. Like, yeah, Chris Brown, he's not here, so I'm going to accept this award on his behalf. And she says a couple words about it, and she gets off stage. And then the next day, she got, a lot of people being like, why would you stick up for Chris Brown? You said, okay, chill out. She was talking about how talented he is, love you, blah, blah, blah. And people were upset. And of course, she got a lot of the backlash. And she doubled down on it the next day after that backlash. And she was saying, the haters really got to give grace and forgiveness to Chris Brown because people deserve second chances.
Yeah.
I have such a problem with this.
Yeah.
First of all, how in the hell is American Music Awards giving out this award to Chris Brown? How are people voting for that? How are people so blind to his history? Because Kelly Rowland is making it seem like, oh, he deserves a second chance. We need to be graceful. We need to forgive him. But he hasn't done, of course, it was the big Rihanna incident of him beating her up. Very, very, it was terrible, right? We all remember the picture.
Sure.
But it wasn't just Rihanna that one time in 2009. It has been nearly every single girlfriend he's ever been public with. Karrueche Tran, she has come out saying that he was very abusive in their four-year relationship. Neighbors calling in reports saying, yeah, I heard him beating her and it was not okay. She has a whole restraining order against him right now still because she can't be near him. He has so many other incidences, and I don't even want to talk about each of these individual incidences only because they're so disgusting, and even saying the words, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I don't feel like giving even more of a trigger warning about it than I already need to talking about this.
Yeah.
He has already gotten a second chance, Kelly Rowland. He's gotten a third, fourth, and fifth chance. So why? How are we still doing this?
Yeah, predicated upon you getting a second chance is you changing.
Right.
That is what that's about.
Yes.
And we do live in this weird time of cancel culture where receipts are forever now because of the internet. Mm-hmm. So if you did something wrong and you're truly contrite, which you never really know, mm-hmm. and you truly are different, sure, do you deserve a second chance? Yes. I would also say that people can have their own opinion of your second chance. Mm-hmm. So if you're a public figure and you're trying to get a second chance, nobody owes you oh, I forgive you now. Nobody owes you that.
No.
If they want to give it to you, they can, but
sure.
Nobody owes that to you. What a second chance means is you're not rotting in jail or dead right now.
Yeah.
You can go lay concrete if you want and make a living for yourself and have a life. Mm-hmm. But guess what? That doesn't entitle you to being cheered at the American Music Awards.
Seriously.
So
it's gross, man.
So those are two things about it to me. One, we don't owe you the second chance. If people want to give it to you, they can. Mm-hmm. They still are buying your music. So
clearly,
some people have chosen to give you that second chance, and that's fine. But for me, predicated on getting that second chance is, hi, you have to change.
Yeah.
I have to see something different in your behavior.
Yeah.
And like you said, this has happened. So now it's not, I don't know 2022 Chris Brown. So maybe
2022 Chris Brown currently has 2 different cases against him for sexual assault right now.
I'm just saying, maybe 2022 Chris Brown is different right now, but I've seen no evidence that that's the case
at all.
And so I feel no need to give him, I don't owe him a second chance. Mm-hmm. That being said, I do understand what Kelly's saying. I just don't understand it for him. You know what I mean? If people make mistakes, I think too much nowadays, they're labeled that forever.
Yeah.
And as long, of course, depending on the mistake, but people make mistakes. I want them to pay for it. I hope that they do.
Right.
I hope they learn. I hope they change. And I'm okay with giving second chances, but that is you got to change.
Right. Exactly. So it's really frustrating. And I just don't understand how Chris Brown is still allowed to be nominated for these things. I feel like there's also a responsibility on the directors and the people who own and put on these shows as well. Right.
But if you say we're never gonna, because here's the thing.
Put him on probation. Fine. If you don't say never, put him on probation. He's never once ever been excluded from these things.
But if you do that, people are going to say okay, well, a lot of people have had felonies against them. Mm-hmm. Rappers, singers, whoever. So if you do that with one situation, don't you have to do it with all of them?
I guess, but it also depends on what that is, doesn't it?
Because you're just saying like these are
he's harming
domestic dispute cases. Are they criminal charges or are they?
Yeah. Currently under like how
so
long
if you
these
have
things
charges
take.
against you, you can't be nominated.
I don't know. We need something to be figured
playing
out.
devil's advocate. I mean, I understand what you're saying,
For
and
sure.
like I think it's.
I don't know the answer. I'm not smart enough to come up with the answer, but someone needs to come up with the answer because it's just crazy that this continues to happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's not a good look. I agree with you, but at the same time, I just don't know. In this world,
it just sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
You feel
like it's a rock and a hard place, don't you?
It is. It absolutely is. And then it also just like makes my heart break for the women who've ever not only been abused by Chris Brown in the past, but just like also just any woman in general who has ever found themselves in that type of a situation with a man, someone who supposedly loved them. And then you get Chris Brown up on TV and he's their hero because he's getting away with it every time.
Yeah. And I feel for those people too, because if you do give somebody a second chance, then they have to go through a whole separate thing, which is coming to terms with their abuser still being successful and still being cherished and celebrated.
Irritating.
And I know that's hard, but that is something that you have to accept at some point, is that the person will continue to live their life because we're not giving out capital punishment for this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's something that they do have to deal with mentally, but it's just another thing. And that kind of sucks. Like, I hate that for them.
Yeah. So I had a real big issue with that. And Kelly Rowland's love her as an artist and I'm sure she's a great person. It's aggravating that she took that stand and it's like, girl, how do you not know better?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will say this. I was wondering. So I don't, like you said, I don't really watch these shows and I keep up even less now that we're not on the radio. But I saw a bunch of like Chris Brown slander on my timeline and I was just kind of like, good. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this was why.
I had no idea why. So you just let me know. Because I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, Chris Brown sucks. Okay. I mean, all right, you, me, and we, I get to complain now. I'm going to complain. I'm going to preface this by saying that the cat is fine. The kitty is good.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to complain about this gentleman who was trying to travel for Thanksgiving and put a cat in his suitcase.
Oh, no.
I don't know if the cat was in the suitcase the entire time. I don't know if the cat was in the suitcase just for like getting through security. Like, I hope nobody notices.
I think I saw this. Didn't I see a picture? Did the cat go through the x-ray machine?
The cat went through the x-ray machine.
No.
That is when TSA found out that there was a cat in his bag. They obviously pulled him aside. They went through the bag. They let the cat out. Informed him that is not the way that you get an animal through the security checkpoint.
Sir.
He did miss his flight, which I think is fair pittance to pay for that.
Yeah, I think so.
My favorite part about it, however, is the quote that we've got from him from CNN. The passenger who was traveling on Delta Airlines was paged to come and explain his luggage. And the TSA said it was, he talked to the TSA and said it was not his cat. It belonged to someone else in the household.
Oh, okay.
This is like getting caught with drugs with your parents. You're like, that's not my weed.
That's not mine, though. I don't know what that is.
It's not my cat.
That's not mine.
I don't know how that cat got in there. It's not mine.
But you live with the cat. Come on.
Have you ever been, I wanted to ask you, have you ever been caught with something and you're like, oh, that's not mine.
That's not mine. Gosh, nothing that I can think of at the moment.
No?
I don't know. When you're caught red-handed, you're caught red-handed, right?
Well, my parents found weed in my sister's car.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was
It's not mine.
It's not mine.
Someone must have left it there.
I'm a good kid. I didn't do this. Come on.
I gave all my friends rides last week. I don't know where this came from.
Oh my God. The fur was even sticking out from the zippers on the kid.
No. It means his hair was being pulled.
No. It was like the zipper wasn't all the way closed.
Oh.
It was okay. So I was trying to think, as I always play devil's advocate. You just heard me play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a way that I could not think this guy's a total dummy. Is it possible? Like, we've seen the videos of, like, you put, like, a box down and you don't think the cat is going to fit in it. And then, like, the cat, like, works its way in and is in the box.
There's no way that you, like, don't know the cat is
in there. Is it possible?
No.
That the cat crawled into the luggage after he had packed it, and he just grabbed it and went to the airport and didn't realize that the cat was in there?
No. And what kind of came to mind for me was, like, was it a kid? Like, was he traveling with his family or something, and they're packing up to go somewhere, and, like, I want to bring my kitty, and then the kid, like, sneaks and doesn't know, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if he was with his family. Was it just this guy? I have questions.
I do too. Okay, you don't think that's possible at all?
No, because I feel like cats, the second you close it, it's going to start to freak out. And when you close a suitcase, you're not just one and done. You close a suitcase and you have to
there's a little
zipper it. And
there's a little bit of light in between. She's looking at the little fur sticking out between the two zippers. No. Is it possible
he did it on purpose?
That's just enough light that the cat isn't freaking out in there? That it's just comfy in its little hole?
I think the guy knew that the cat was in there, and he was giving him some air to breathe. That's an air hole.
You think? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, well, we mentioned cat, and Nina's two dogs are up and vicious now.
Now they're like, who?
What?
A cat?
Cat?
Where?
So let's move on.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, you, me, and we. Oh, so for the we, man, so sad and so hard to talk about.
I know.
The shooting down in Colorado Springs. I don't know. Do you want to give like a little rundown of it, or do we just want to talk about what it?
Yeah.
How we feel about it?
So down in Colorado Springs, this was this past Saturday at Club Q. It's a gay bar in Colorado Springs. There was a shooting. A man walked in, started shooting, left 5 people dead and 19 people injured. And it's just awful. He went in a little bit past midnight, and that's, go to any club. That's after midnight is when it really starts to get crowded with people, and people are there just to have fun, be themselves, have a good time. And someone comes in and changes your life forever. He has changed the lives of anyone and everyone that was there. He's changed so many lives of people who weren't there. And it's awful, and it's really sad, and it just, when is this kind of stuff not gonna happen anymore?
I don't think that's
it's sad.
I don't think that's something
that's not a reality that we can have.
Yeah, I just yeah, and you were like, do you want to talk about the shooting? And I was like, which one?
Yeah, I know.
Because today
there's another one.
There's another shooting in Virginia.
Yeah.
Overnight, an overnight manager who shot up his store and killed some of his employees. It's just, I don't think most of the country is for common sense gun reform. Like even Republicans, gun owners, like there are very simple common sense rules we could put into place. It is a lot of money from lobbyists that stops it from happening.
Which is just so messed up. But like at the same time, that's America, right?
Yeah.
And like how screwed up is that?
Like if you want to say tear down the whole system, I'm not the one that's going to stop you from doing it.
Right.
It's just, aside from doing that, what can you do to fix this kind of stuff? And I don't know, we're getting away from the human side of that story, but it's the frustration of dealing with this over and over and over again. I don't know, if it was you at your house that was dealing with a problem over and over, you'd fix it.
You'd do something about it.
And our house has a problem and we are not fixing it. And I don't know what else to do. It's
just, there are a couple of things, whenever this happens and it's been said over and over and over again, yet nothing is being done, but just guns are way too easily accessible, and these guns that just shouldn't be in civilian hands necessarily. And mental health is real. Mental health needs to be taken way more seriously than it does. And I think that there have been a few steps towards that in recent years, but there's so much more work to be done with that. And this needs to stop happening. Those are 3 things that I know. That's it.
And I think part of the problem is in a world where you do a lot of your talking online, people are used to saying things and not having repercussions for them. And as that grows, there becomes like this inability to deal with emotions when you think that somebody has wronged you or somebody has said something about you, because you just have to, like, I don't know, if I'm on a video game and someone, you know, drops the F word or drops the N-bomb or something like that. Yeah. I just have to deal with it. Like, there's nothing I can do. I can't go talk to them about it. I can't pull them aside. There's nothing I can do about it. And so I think it's stopped people from processing emotions the right way. You know what I mean? I think we, as humans, we have to figure out a new way to process emotions, and people are just lashing out because they don't know what else to do. Like they don't, I don't know.
It's hard. It's really hard when this kind of stuff happens, and it's just awful when it happens in our own backyard. And it happened right here in Colorado Springs. It's an hour away from us. And how many people, we've all been there. But
how many times has it happened an hour away from us? You know, like the STEM school shooting, Aurora, Columbine, like, and now we're just naming cities to identify shooters now. Like it's just, it's out of control crazy.
Yeah.
I do, though, want to give a shout out to at Club Q, the vet who was there. Do you have his name?
I was just going to get there. Former Army Major and Iraqi war veteran Richard Fierro. There was also a second hero. We haven't seen any, because we've seen a lot of the interviews, thank goodness, from Richard Fierro, and he's just so humble. He's the most humble hero ever. If you just watch his interviews, I nearly cry every time. But he does mention that he had help in taking down the shooter, and the name of that person has come up. Finally, Thomas James, who is a sailor in the U.S. Navy, who helped Richard take this guy down and hold him down until police were able to get him into custody.
Man, I just got chills. Like those vets, man. And I heard part of his interview where he said, you know, when you get into that combat mode, like you just flip and turn into a different person, and you go to a different place, which is a little bit sad. I mean, it's part of the reason some of the vets have so much trouble, but at the same time, I'm just appreciative, you know, like
absolutely.
You hope, I've said this on air a couple times, and I hope it comes out right. I hope, I guess I should say that if I was ever in that situation, I'd have the courage to do something like that, because you never know how you're going to react in a situation like that. And I hold the people who have that courage and have shown it in such high regard, high esteem. So I really appreciate what he did.
Absolutely.
They did, I should say.
Yes, exactly. And Richard, specifically, we found out that Richard and his wife, his family, they actually own a brewery down in Colorado Springs. And so a lot of people have actually been going to that brewery and just supporting them. And, you know, you want to support a hero. You just want to support, I mean, you should be supporting people in your community in general, but just the fact that he was there, and he has said over and over in all of his interviews, you know, I'm not a hero. I'm just any other person who was there. All you would want to do is protect your family. And he said everyone in that club that night was family to him. And so he just wanted to protect his family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. And listen, you and I are both allies. We're not part of the LGBTQ plus communities. But I very much get that sense every time I go to a club like that.
It's just love.
Right.
It's just love and acceptance. Come on in.
And that's an amazing feeling, because it's not something you get everywhere nowadays. And so he says that, and I feel that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that is absolutely something that anybody who's in that club would say. Because they're so accepting and so inviting. And it's terrible to me that the nicest, the most accepting among us are the ones that have to take the slings and arrows from people who can't handle the fact that everybody is so accepting and nice to them. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of wild to me. So I just, man,
your heart breaks, and it's hard to talk about it, but it needs to be talked about until eventually, maybe one day it stops happening. But I mean, who knows if that day will ever come?
I mean, we can hope.
Yeah,
we can hope, so. And I hope. My hope isn't just that it goes away. My hope is that things like this harden people's resolve. It makes them think about when they're going to the voting box, when they're. Whatever, in your daily life, when you're trying to be sympathetic to people, all that stuff. I want this to be something that you remember and you try to make a difference. The hope isn't just that it goes away. It's that it strengthens people's resolve to make it go away.
Nicely said. And just be nice to each other.
Okay. How about some good news?
Please.
Okay. So Wakanda Forever has been out for a couple weeks now. That's the new Black Panther movie.
Yes.
And a lot of people, including this actress we're about to speak about, have talked about how important it is, the representation, seeing African Americans as royalty, seeing African culture celebrated, how much it means to everybody. So a cool story from Wakanda Forever is that there was a CU Boulder grad in there.
Yeah. So University of Colorado Boulder, her name is Abba Arthur, and she was in the movie. She graduated from University of Colorado, and she was a naval engineer in the new Black Panther movie. And she was very excited about it. And not only did we get to be like, oh, cool, someone who went to see you is in that movie, but she actually came out to Denver and she appeared at a screening of the film last weekend, and she was here and hosted a screening, and she was in the movie, and we just love to see it.
Very cool. You are the one who normally says it, but I'll say it this time, representation matters.
So much.
I don't know. I feel like it kind of is at a point where people are like, okay, well, we've done that now. And it's like, no.
That's not a one and done type of thing, first of all.
It's representation. Like, it's supposed to happen all the time.
Yeah.
And so, people are like, oh, it's every movie or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, every movie.
Like, yeah, good.
They are, like, every movie should have that kind of representation.
Absolutely. So Alba, she actually said while at the screening, she said this movie is so important because of the global impact and the cultural impact, and she's so grateful to be a part of it. So, I mean, we're grateful for her. I just think it's really, really cool that someone who graduated at CU Boulder was in the movie, and you can be like, oh, so we got to watch it and we got to look out for her.
Well, and that's the thing, man. It's like even a step up above representation is like the whole Wakanda thing has become part of the culture. And I think that's kind of cool. Like, dude, it's celebrated.
Have you seen the McDonald's commercial?
No.
Oh my gosh. I like cry at this stupid McDonald's commercial. So there's a McDonald's commercial because they have like the little toys in their Happy Meals, and the theme was they were all Black Panther toys and different characters and stuff like that. And the commercial for McDonald's are these little kids, and they're at the playground or whatever, and they're talking about, this isn't just a movie, because when I watch this movie and I see me in that movie, I know that there's a real feeling there, or something along those lines. Okay. And then there's me, I'm like, oh, like representation. These kids, they feel it. They know. Like, you gotta watch out for it. It does. It really does.
A McDonald's commercial.
I know. And then I'm like, God damn it, McDonald's.
No, I mean, listen, it does matter, and like,
it does.
Listen, I know it feels like it's just starting for us.
Yeah.
But that's true for that kid. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's probably 6?
Right.
So Black Panther's been out his entire life. This movement of representation and inclusion has been going on his entire life. And that's the goal, right? Yeah. Like, it wasn't there when we were kids, but like, hopefully this next generation,
and then they can just grow up and be way more confident in themselves and who they are and their background, where they came from,
and it just becomes a normal part of life. Like, that's how it happens. Is that 6-year-old for his whole life feels like, I've been represented. You know what I mean? And I don't have to, there's never
You
a
don't have
moment.
to feel different in that way.
Right, yeah. So I just think that's, awesome. It's magical.
Yes.
That is the change we talk about. So.
Yes, love that.
Okay, and then we're going for the whack ass of the week.
Oh my goodness. Kanye West, Kanye. So a report came out that Kanye West, while he was working with Adidas, he was showing a bunch of employees, to Adidas staffers, employees, he was showing a bunch of nude photos and videos of his wife, Kim Kardashian. This was when they were still married. So this was a while ago when they were still married. He was working at Adidas and he just like casually, I guess supposedly how the story goes is he got a text message from Kim. She sent her husband some sexy pictures and I'm all for that. That is her husband. That's your wifey. Yeah. Like, keep it interesting. Why not?
Sure.
And she sent him some photos and Kanye West, while he was working in this Adidas office, decided to take it upon himself. Oh, check it out. My wife just sent me this and showed these photos that were only meant for his eyes to strangers, to people that he was working with. And that is not okay. That is not okay at all.
I was just kind of giving you the floor. I wanted to let you go off as much as you wanted to. Listen, it's
messed up.
It's messed up for anybody. Mm-hmm. I think personally, it's extra messed up if everybody knows who she is.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she is a public figure makes it even more messed up.
Yeah. And for anyone who's listening and you're that person who's like, oh, well, she already posted revealing pictures of herself. She already did Playboy. She already did this. She already did that. First of all, don't listen to this podcast. I don't like you. I don't care. Second of all, who thinks like that? Like, that's not okay.
Here's the answer to them. Those were her choices.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
If she had texted him the picture and said, show all your buddies.
Sure, right.
Then, like, fine. Then we've got nothing to talk about because I'm big on the consent part of it, right? Like, I don't care if you want to be, chained down and spanked, but you want that, right?
Yeah.
If she wanted her picture plastered everywhere, she was getting paid millions of dollars by Playboy. Mm-hmm. If she wanted to get famous, so she released a sex tape. I mean, like, whatever it is, then if it's her consent, then I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, whatever. Mm-hmm. This was not.
No, at all.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the issue for me. Here's the thing that bothers me, and it's going to make you cringe when I say it.
What?
More common than you think.
What? Showing yes. people? No.
Yeah. It's more common than you think. And,
that's not cool.
I think nudes are obviously off limits, but there's a fine line between like, hey, I want to show my buddy's my new girlfriend, and like what picture is appropriate for that.
Yeah. Would you ever look, I'm going to show you a picture of my girlfriend and then pull up a nude of her? No,
but I would, like, if we were at a beach, I'd show him a bathing suit pic and wouldn't feel weird about it.
That's okay.
Would that make you feel weird?
No, especially if you, like I've posted bikini pictures or whatever on my Instagram.
Okay, what about lingerie pics?
I don't post lingerie pics on my Instagram.
Okay.
So.
But would that make you feel weird?
What?
So say, and we're not accusing the boy of this, so do not.
No.
But like, say you sent your husband a spicy lingerie pic. If he showed it to his friends.
No, I'm not okay with that.
No. Okay.
No, not at all. Because if I'm sending him a personal picture, again, I'm all down with like, keep it spicy, send nude photos or whatever during the workday on a Monday. I have.
Okay.
I have. Absolutely.
I feel like most people at this point have.
Right. But like, you have to know where that line is and that line.
But it's weird because I don't want to sound like I'm stomping for this. The lingerie doesn't show anything more than the bathing suit most of the time.
It might.
It might, and that's a clear.
It probably does.
That's a clear-cut case if it does. Yeah. But if it's just a bra and panties, it doesn't really show anything different than the bathing suit pic. And this is why I get anxious about like bathing suit pictures. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. But if I'm wearing my bathing suit in a public beach or at a public pool,
because it's a public
place, then okay. But I'm not wearing lingerie there.
Yeah.
The only time I'm wearing lingerie that anyone can really see or whatever, I'm wearing lingerie in the bedroom or in the comfort of my own home.
Right.
You know, in the privacy of my own home.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's okay.
So, and then let me go to the other side of it. Here's what I don't get for the guys. That, like, part of the turn on for me for that is that the girl wanted me to have it.
Yeah.
Like, the exclusivity is part of what I'm like, yeah, that's super hot. So if I share it with my friends, all of a sudden, like, it's not special to me anymore. I don't know. Is that weird? Am I the only one that feels that way?
No. I don't think so. And I think that's. I've never thought of it like that actually. But I mean, you being a guy, like, okay, I can see that for sure.
She wanted to turn me on
for sure.
So she took a picture
this
that
is
was
my photo. This photo was for me.
Right. She probably spent at least 10 minutes getting into it, putting her makeup on, taking the right pic, picking out the one, sending it to me. Like, that's hot.
Yeah.
Like, that is
she
part
put in
of
some
the attraction.
effort, and that is for you, baby.
She did it to try to turn me on, and then I'm just going to turn my phone around and be like, oh my God.
Check this out.
Like, it's so stupid.
That's not okay.
I
Yeah. So this report just came out. Apparently it happened a while ago, but even still, it's not okay. Don't think that it's ever okay to do because it's not.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Kanye West, you're our whack-ass of the week.
Man, I feel like that wasn't the first time.
I don't think we've cussed during this episode, so fuck you, Kanye. How's that? Is that okay?
Yes, I love it.
All right. Hey, listen, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Like we said, we don't know how often we're going to do this, but we hope we do it weekly for you.
We'll try our bestest.
We'll try our bestest. So we gave you one a little bit early so you could enjoy it around the Thanksgiving table. That was the thought.
Tell Grandma about Kanye West and Kim's nudes.
You're gonna have your ham and your turkey and your mashed potatoes and Nina Blanco sitting at the table right next. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, wait, what?
Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate y'all. And okay, so how do you want to do the end now? Because you got very upset about how I did the end last time.
I don't know anymore.
Okay, well, she is Nina Blanco. You can find her at the Nina Blanco on all the social medias.
And this is Dubz. You can follow him at Dubz the Third on all the social medias.
And thank you for listening to
YITTY.
YITTY.
Okay, bye.
It seems like that made you happy.
It did. Okay, bye. Good.